Good morning, everyone. This is Mitch. Hope you're having a great Thursday morning so far. I thought I'd give you all a quick update before I head off to work for the day on this winter storm that is developing. Things have uptrended, even here in the short term for areas like Nashville and just Tennessee in general and areas of Kentucky. But there is that northwest trend that we have been talking about could happen for areas of the upper mid-Atlantic and the Northeast near Boston and even New York City, where the snow could potentially be a little heavier than maybe we previously thought. Been talking about that for the last few days, the potential for this northwest trend at the last second, and in models it looks like it's happening. But this system is developing right now. It's underway. You have a little bit of sleet reported in Memphis. This could briefly go to snow soon in Jonesboro, Arkansas, and areas of Arkansas and southeast Missouri. A little bit of snow reported, much more colder air up here. But this is a band of heavy precipitation developing right now near Jackson, Tennessee, right on top of you guys. It's probably unloading snow if you guys have not gotten up. This is continuing to work into Nashville, and there's actually a mesoscale discussion on this where a heavier band can set up with 1 to 2 inch hour per rate setting up here. Before we get going, if you guys have not subscribed, definitely consider subscribing to my channel. Appreciate the amazing support over the last 10 days. It's been awesome. Like the video if you like it, and I love you guys so much, and I really appreciate all y'all. Just want to always throw that in there. So let's continue to go. You guys got anything I can pray for? Definitely put it in the comments, and I'll definitely pray for you guys. I'm sure a lot of people in the comments will do so also. So let's keep going here. This heavier precipitation is developing. This is pretty much developing the way we thought it would. There's no surprises here. In fact, it might verify much higher. For you folks in Nashville, you're waking up now. Yesterday you probably went to sleep with winter weather advisories. Now you're waking up to winter storm warnings. And I mentioned that 2 days ago that I thought let me see if I can get my cursor up, that I thought these areas could really get winter storm warnings into Tennessee. And it's happened. Not saying I told you so, because I try not to be that guy. I try to stay humble. But winter storm warnings extended into this area. Nashville, you guys probably will deal with a little bit of dry air initially. But this is a heavy band to your west and southwest about to move in. It might start off as a little bit of sleet. But watch out here in northern Alabama, maybe a little freezing rain and sleet. And just south of Nashville, you're going to deal with a little bit more sleet, maybe a little freezing rain. But I really think a heavier band's going to set up here later today in areas of Tennessee. Now, by the time some of you guys watch this video, the radar will not look like this. It'll be snowing in your area. But this could be a pretty big event for these areas right in here as far as Mid-South standards. I know people don't consider Kentucky the Mid-South. I feel like it's the border between the Mid-South and the Ohio Valley. But this is an ongoing thing, and it's developing right now. So let's go on, and let's check this out. So the pink areas is the winter storm warnings. Let me clear my throat, guys. Sorry. But the pink areas is the winter storm warnings, and they're extended all the way, and it's all the way to the counties that are bordering Alabama and southern areas of Tennessee. It's a big deal here. So Huntsville, Alabama, for example, you guys are very close to that winter storm warning. I think they'll keep you all winter weather advisories, but we'll see. Winter storm warnings extended for a large chunk of Tennessee now, almost the entire state of Kentucky. There's going to be a sharp cutoff right here. Like I said, there's going to be an intense band of snow that sets up right in here, right where the boundary cutoff is and the advisory cutoff is. Right now, still just winter weather advisories for these areas up here around New York City, Philadelphia, Baltimore, Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C., I do not think y'all get upgraded to a warning. I think this is going to be a lighter event for y'all guys, maybe 1 to 2 to 3 inches of snow, 3 inches at most. It might surprise, might be a heavier band that sets up to give y'all more. But Boston, this is trending into a big event for you guys. So let's talk about this mesoscale discussion. This is including Nashville and areas in surrounding Nashville. 1 to 2 inch per hour band could set up in this region in maybe a 3 to 4 hour period from 6 to 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Like I said, by the time some of you guys watch this video, this will already be ongoing or past. But temperatures are very cold and well below freezing in these areas of Tennessee. And the dew points are a little bit lower, so it's going to take a minute for probably the column to definitely moisturize and get moist, and so these snow totals can go here. But this low pressure is developing right here. There's a warm nose in place in these areas. There's a big cutoff and really cold temperatures, and then pretty warm temperatures south of this front. So this warm nose, which is an area of warm air aloft, is going to melt these snowflakes. That's why areas of northern Mississippi and Alabama could see more sleet, maybe a little freezing rain as opposed to snow because of that warm air aloft. So let's look at the HRRR model. Then we'll take a brief look at totals, and then I'll let y'all go on y'all's day here. But as we're getting into, and we're going to talk about Eastern Standard Time. So if you're in Central Standard Time, knock an hour off every hour that I say. So 8 a.m. By 8 a.m., this heavier snow is definitely all into Nashville by now, moving to Kentucky. Watch out, very southern areas of Indiana, getting into Ohio, getting into more so mid-morning, getting into around the noon time frame, 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. Most of the state of Tennessee is dealing with snow or just a wintry mix. I'm watching as we get into the early afternoon hours as this front continues to work through for you folks, and Huntsville just points north. I think y'all stay very cold all day, but man, it's going to be a sharp cutoff. Extreme areas of northern Alabama, it's going to be very close. I don't think y'all see much in the way of snow. It'll be more sleet, I really think, but I could be wrong. As we get into the afternoon hours, heavier band of snow develops here in the plateau of Tennessee, and basically these areas near Knoxville, Morristown, and places like this. Gatlinburg, it switches to very heavy snow, I think. And this continues to move through West Virginia. As you're getting into your afternoon hours, it's just snow for the entire state. Gets on up the Pittsburgh area. Snow starts to get into that area, and maybe a couple inches for you guys. This is trending northwest, so maybe a little bit more snow further areas north. Low pressure rides through. This is not good news for areas like Richmond, point south, who won't snow. Even the Delmarva, there's a little bit more warmer air advection getting in as this low pressure is trending a little bit more north. But I think Washington, D.C., your guys going to get a good thumping of snow as we get later this evening into overnight. And then it gets cut off by the time you guys wake up in Washington, D.C., for example. Tomorrow morning, the snow will be probably on out. But this is a nice event overnight tonight for probably Washington, D.C., New York City, Philadelphia, Baltimore, Long Island, and Boston, point south. Really could get a good thumping of snow tomorrow morning as this low pressure begins to deepen, and a heavy band of I always want to say frontogenesis, but frontogenesis forms here where this low pressure is deepening, and then a pivoting band that's almost stationary kind of develops here in southern New England and the Northeast and the coastal areas in Northeast in general. This can include Long Island. This is going to be a pretty heavy band of snow you're going to wake up to tomorrow morning, anywhere from New York City to Boston, Long Island. So this could dump a good bit of snow. Now, this is the latest long range, which came out about 3 hours ago. There's another one coming out here in about an hour or two. So this could shift a little bit northwest. So this is the latest long range HRRR model, though, pointing out over a foot of snow in areas of West Virginia. I had a guy that was a little angry because I never mentioned West Virginia. I do mention West Virginia. It's hard for me to get very detailed about each state, or the video would go on for an hour. You know what I'm saying? So I try to get as detailed as possible. But the mountainous areas of West Virginia will be heavily favored. But even outside the higher mountains of West Virginia, you guys, I think, could be a jackpot as far as mid-Atlantic standards for the storm. Kentucky, this is going to be a nice event for you guys. Listen to your local people. But if you're in central Kentucky, points east, over a half a foot of snow is definitely could be expected here. Tennessee, and this accounts for snow. Notice you're not seeing any snow in northern Alabama and Mississippi, but for Tennessee, 6 inches of snow could fall in Nashville. The HRRR model is showing it. In fact, you look at the latest run. Let's see what the latest run shows through 18 hours. Still 6 inches of snow in Nashville. So, you know, going forward here, I really think that maybe Washington, D.C., maybe anywhere from 2 to 4 inches of snow could fall. This is trending higher for areas like New York City, maybe over a half a foot of snow now for New York City. I'm telling you, I've been talking about it for days that this could trend northwest. Everybody has, really. It's just taken a while to adjust. But I want to mention, look at this sharp cutoff in snowfall totals in the Ohio Valley, southern sections. This is going to be a major disappointment for somebody in these areas right here. I hate it. Delmarva sees a nice snowfall event, but I no longer see a jackpot area for this area, and it's because it's trending northwest. So that might not be the case anymore. Long Island, if this low pressure trends a little bit too far northwest, you are going to get a little bit more warm air involved, and maybe not as much snow. Maybe it'll mix in with a little rain. We go a little further north, and look at this. You got over a foot total showing up in southern New England, anywhere from Connecticut, Rhode Island, and Massachusetts. 9 inches showing up from the HRRR model from for Boston. I think y'all could get more than that. I honestly do. Now, this is what I want to show you guys, and then we'll wrap this up. This is the latest GFS, the one that just came out. So latest model, I want to stop it right here because we know what's going to happen right here, right? It's going to be a nice event. But this is the current run. I'm going to back it up 4 runs. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now I'm going to put it all the way to the present run. 1, 2, 3, 4. Notice how this low pressure just ticked a little bit closer. I'll back it up again for people who didn't notice it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Notice how the low pressure got closer to the coast. This is good news for areas like Boston and New York City who want an all-out snowstorm. This is trending northwest. Now, I think y'all really will see it here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Now look, it's showing like 2 inches for New York City and Boston. Now I'm going to fast forward it to the present run. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now you have bigger totals. You got these purples and pinks showing up, which is well over 6 to 8 inches for areas like New York City and Boston. And this would print out even more snow for West Virginia. It would cause a domino effect downstream, obviously. But this might bring a little bit more snow. It might, like I said, it might bring that jackpot area and Delmarva area into Washington, D.C. The GFS shows a nice 6 to 7 inch event for Washington, D.C. A lot to figure out here, guys. But I'll wrap it up with this. Like I said, here in the short term, the National Weather Service, for example, in Nashville has now bumped the total. This is the professionals. Professionals, National Weather Service has bumped it up to 5 to 6 inches. Even gives you the good old heavy snow icon. So this is moving into closer into Nashville now. I imagine you'll all start to see flakes falling within the hour. Heavy snow. This is going to be thumping for you guys. Do not go to work today because even when the snow stops, bitterly cold temperatures is going to follow, which I haven't really talked about much. But the coldest air, and I would say 2 to 3 years, it's going to set up behind the snow for these areas. In the single digits, could reach the single digits under snowpack tonight for Nashville and things like that. So very cold night. But that's all I got, guys. Thank y'all for tuning in. I'll have you an update tonight. God bless all y'all and have a great day.